Due to the graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised. Coming up on Animal Cops Houston.
We got a warrant to seize all the horses.
They look really, really bad. What are you doing?
A gruesome discovery in a horse pasture.
There's got to be a reason that they died.
A dog injured and chained up under a trailer.
Why is it limping and why is there a big wound on the side of its leg? You restrained him on your property and you've had him for 3 weeks. That classifies you as the caretaker under Texas law.
And a livestock rescue that pushes the team to the limit.
You gonna pass out on me?
Picking up your feed in that mud is like picking up an extra 40 pounds. That's horrible.
Houston SPCA investigator Debbie Michelson is on the road. She's heading 50 miles north of Houston to the city of Conroe.
I received a call regarding several horses that are supposedly in really, really poor shape. The horses are going to be next to this pasture. There, right there, it must be.
There are 7 horses and a donkey in the field. None of them have any food, and the horses appear underweight. Michelson needs to get a closer look.
Gonna try a little trick and, you know, shake a little bit of food, see if I can get their attention.
The sound of the food bucket gets an immediate reaction. The horses are obviously hungry.
A little bit of grain. Hi, Pumpkin. You want some? Oh, yeah, you're hungry. Okay, I know, you're hungry. Woo!
Michelson feels their lives are in danger. After taking photos of the animals to document their condition, she wants to speak to the person responsible for the neglect.
We're gonna go try to find your owner and find out what the heck's going on with you guys. Hi, I'm with the Houston SPCA. Are you the owner of the horses?
Yes, I am.
How many horses are there all total?
7 horses and a donkey.
They look really, really bad.
I've learned them. Feeding. I've got to get hay because I've run out, but I got to get some hay.
When did you run out of hay?
About a week ago.
Your horses are really, really hungry. And they're in really, really poor shape. What are you feeding them?
They each get 5 scoops.
They each get 5 scoops a day.
Yes.
I don't know how they're not putting on.
They each get 5 scoops.
They each get 5 scoops a day.
Yes.
I don't know how they're not putting on weight then if you've got 5 scoops a day. Your horse almost took my hand off trying to get hay out of my hand. One of them back there. So I never had a horse fight me that hard for a little bit of hay. Just a handful of hay. So you have a lot of issues. Okay. Within 24 hours, you need to make an appointment to have all your animals seen. They have to have full medical evaluation and treatment. If the vet says that something has to be done, it has to be done. Just sign right there.
The owner has 24 hours to prove to Michelson he can take care of his horses. If he refuses to comply, she'll be back with a seizure warrant. Cruelty investigator Maverick Wagner is responding to an emergency call concerning an injured dog.
I got a call in from an HPD officer. The officer thinks that the dog might have gotten hit by a car and the dog's leg was really swollen and a little bloody.
If the report's accurate, the dog could be in severe pain.
108 base.
The veterinary team is on standby.
Go ahead, 108.
Show me 97 next to 6718. This is it right here.
There's no sign of the dog, but there's plenty of evidence suggesting there may have been some kind of accident.
It looks like some type of abandoned warehouse, maybe a storage unit or something.
Wagner takes photos of the scene for evidence. As he proceeds to search the back of the property, he spots movement under a trailer.
Hey, hi, Bobby.
It's a German Shepherd. It's scared and appears to be in pain.
It's a good boy. That hurts, don't it? That hurts, huh? Your leg hurt? Is that why you're licking it? Okay, there's a really bad wound right here on the left hip. It's a really bad puncture wound. He's underweight. He hardly has any hair on his tail.
No one's at the property, but Wagner refuses to leave the dog. He calls the constable's office for immediate assistance.
The dog's restrained and it's alive. It's got really, really bad bloody puncture wound on its left hip. I mean, the dog's pretty bad. He's definitely in pain. It shouldn't wait for tomorrow or the next day. All right, thanks. Bye.
Just as he gets off the phone, the owner of the property appears.
Hi, I'm Investigator Wagner with Houston SPCA. What happened? Why is it limping? Why is there a big wound on the side of its leg?
I don't know. This just happened Sunday, and this dog does not belong to me, okay?
Why is he restrained on your property?
Because I didn't want him to get hurt, and I've been feeding him and watering him. You can see where I mean, he doesn't belong to me. If it was mine, I don't own dogs.
How long has his leg been swollen, and how long has that wound been on the side of his
Since
hip?
you've been here.
I mean, you've restrained him on your property, and you've had him for 3 weeks. That classifies you as a caretaker under Texas law.
But I don't know what to do, okay?
I mean, that would mean that you would be responsible for his health and welfare
Well,
if you've got him restrained on your property.
If that's the case, then they can take him and euthanize him and put him out of his misery. And he's only been here like 2 or 3 weeks. That's all. He hasn't. You can ask the neighbors.
Deputy Constable Anna Herrera arrives on the scene. If she suspects the woman is guilty of cruelty, she could place her under arrest.
Okay. German Shepherd is up under the camper.
Where's the owner?
She's the owner of the property. She's saying that the dog's not hers, but the dog's restrained on the property. She says she's been taking care of it for about 3 weeks now. I asked her why it's restrained on the property, and she said because she didn't want it to get in the road and get hit. When she pulled up, man, I was like, uh-oh.
Is the dog friendly?
He's yours.
Oh,
He's friendly to me.
Hi, baby. Okay, so he's not your dog? Okay, let me explain something to you, okay? When you have an animal that's on your property and you feed the animal and you give the animal shelter or water or whatever, legally he's your animal, okay?
He gets his food and he gets his water. Can nobody tell you that I'm starving this poor dog because
Right.
I try to do something for him.
Yeah.
You know, that's not to say that I've done what's right.
Do you want him?
No, I don't. I'm not a dog person.
The team is satisfied that despite her misguided approach, the woman wasn't intentionally mistreating the dog. The priority now is to get the dog to the Houston SPCA shelter for immediate medical treatment.
Okay, what I've got right here, it's a sign-over form, basically. It's giving me permission to take the dog, that you relinquish all ownership of him, and you're signing him over to the SPCA. He's ours, basically, now, that you sign over all rights to him.
Okay.
We're gonna transport him back now, have a vet take a look at him, and we'll go from there.
Back at base, Chief Investigator Charles Jansen has assembled his team to revisit a property in Conroe.
Michelson and I'll go up there. If we get out there and there's some form of difficulties, then I might call more assets into play.
It's been 24 hours since investigator Debbie Michelson ordered a man to get his horses treated by a vet. She hasn't heard anything from the owner, and Jansen's patience has just run out.
Any questions?
He's seen Michelson's photos from the location and knows it's time to take action before it's too late to save the horses. A mile from the location, Michelson meets with deputies Don Smith and Dwayne Morrow from the Montgomery County Constable's office. They've already been to the property, where the owner's mother gave them a less than friendly reception.
I can tell she get probably turn around, and be kind of hostile.
Well, let's go ahead and get this show on the road.
Y'all ready?
The deputies have obtained a court warrant, empowering them to seize the animals. While they prepare to speak to the owners, the investigators make a grisly discovery. At the rear of the property, piles of bones are found. It appears to be a horse's graveyard.
There's bones throughout the property.
Next, law enforcement moves in to seize the severely emaciated horses.
You're starving the horses to death, man.
No, he's not.
You know, we can do this the easy way or the hard way.
In Montgomery County, Texas, investigators for the Houston SPCA have stepped in to save a herd of neglected horses after their owners failed to get them emergency veterinary treatment.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm fine.
I'm Don Smith from Montgomery County Constable's office.
Yeah, you're the third person that's been out here this
Okay, we got a warrant to seize all the horses.
While the deputies were speaking to the owners, the investigators stumbled upon some disturbing evidence of cruelty.
There's bones throughout the property. It appears to be the bones of several different animals.
This appears to be the remains of a horse, definitely some large bones. So we're guessing that that's what it is. And there's also another pile of them a little ways ahead, so I'm gonna go check those out too. You know, something's definitely been going on with animals. You know, there's gotta be a reason that they died.
There's no way of knowing whether the animals that died here were the victims of neglect, but the team isn't taking any chances. The remaining horses are emaciated and need to be rescued immediately.
This is the situation. I'm going to ask for the horses to be given to the Houston SPCA, but also I can file criminal charges on it, okay?
I prefer that you didn't file criminal charges. He's doing
And that's
the best
why I'm
he
trying to
can.
make this as easy as I can.
Yeah, painful.
No, ma'am, you're starving the horses to death.
No, he's not.
There's one with the hoof still on it, if you wanna look at that.
Oh, really?
It's small too.
Oh, this one right here?
Well, this right here appears to be maybe a vertebrae or a neck bone of an animal. And then this is definitely the hoof of a horse. Appears to be pretty small. Still hard to say how long that's been there, but that's the first time I've seen a bone with the hoof still around it.
The owner's mother claims her son is doing the best he can for the animals, but the deputies aren't convinced.
You know better than anybody else. You don't
No,
know
ma'am.
how much money my son spends a week. Okay, fine. You do whatever it is that you want to.
You know, we can do this the easy way or the hard way.
Okay,
Okay?
sure.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
They've allowed horses to die or have had horses die in the past, probably from lack of starvation. I mean, just not feeding them enough. I'm glad we're here today to get them seen by a vet, get them see what condition they're in, and what they do need as far as any medical care. But he's obviously overwhelmed. He just had too many horses and couldn't properly take care of them, couldn't provide the care they needed. That's what we're here today to rectify.
The investigators begin to round up the animals.
The horses still look really bad. Hips, backbone, ribs, everything prominent. So these animals are not in good shape.
Let's go ahead and just try and put halters on them first.
Okay. Charles, I got one.
Come on.
You ready? Oh.
Some of the horses are anxious, so the team has to work carefully to prevent anyone from getting hurt.
It's okay. She's just not used to being handled yet.
There you go.
Looky there.
The horses are secure, but there's also a donkey loose on the property.
I got up this side.
Oh, no, I can't run through them trees.
Hey!
After seeing his stablemates confined to the trailer, the donkey isn't easily convinced.
He finds you guys!
Using netting, fence panels, and a few buckets of food, they managed to secure him inside one of the barns.
Safety's first and foremost, and the last step is just that few feet, which is sometimes the hardest few feet to get him into the trailer.
Once they manage to attach a halter, the donkey comes peacefully.
Once he got caught, he was just like, okay, now you got me. So, and he moved on there quite easily. He's been loaded before. He jumped right up on the trailer. So those are all good things.
At this point now, the animals will begin their road to recovery, and as we start going back to the organization, the Houston SPCA medical staff will then take over and start evaluating these animals medically and determine exactly what each one of them need individually. The ultimate outcome is the positive one, where these animals are, from this point forward, going to move in a positive direction. All right, so ready?
That's it.
Okay.
Coming up, the horses seized from their neglectful owner face an uphill battle to recovery.
Horses don't get much skinnier than this with them and still remain upright. The horse is definitely critical as far as overall body condition goes.
At the Houston SPCA shelter, investigator Maverick Wagner has just arrived with the German Shepherd that was found injured and chained underneath a trailer.
Good boy.
What a good boy you are.
Good boy.
Aww.
Wagner has named him Samson. Dr. Cheryl Hoggard will examine him.
What happened to you, honey? The leg is really hot and swollen, so there's definitely some infection going on. I'm sure at this point he's quite uncomfortable.
The property that he came off of, a car had crashed through the gate onto the property, so we don't know if he got hit by the car or where that came from.
If he did get hit by a car, he could have some internal issues. We certainly need to go and bring him into x-ray, and we'll get him started on pain meds and antibiotics also.
This touches close to home because I have a dog that looks like him. I have a German Shepherd mix at home, so they're kind of close to my heart, these kinds of dogs, so I just know he's in pain right now. I just want to alleviate that pain as soon as we can.
Samson is brought to the radiology room, where Dr. Hoggard will take a series of x-rays. The good news is there are no fractures, but the leg has become infected.
The hip is in the joint properly on that leg. However, he doesn't want to extend it, and so we're going to address that first and then try to get the infection under control.
And it feels good to know that he doesn't have broken bones from what she can see, that it's soft tissue stuff, just swelling and the topical wound. She's gonna dress it and clean it up. Some days I come to work, I just run cases, talk to people. On days like this, I get to remove an animal from a bad situation, bring it into a better one, and get him some help. It was a really fulfilling day. I like days like this where I can help an animal.
Outside in the barn, the severely emaciated horses and donkey that were seized from a neglectful owner in Montgomery County have arrived. Dr. Frank Schumann is waiting to evaluate them.
I have numbers for them all.
Okay.
Another sob story. He lost his job, didn't have any money to do this or that. Somebody else was going to help him do something. In the back of the property, probably found piles where there's probably 5 or 6, piles of bones back there.
Really?
Yeah.
The trip to the shelter hasn't calmed down the donkey. He still has plenty of fight in him and seems determined to avoid his appointment with the doctor.
He kind of gave up once he decided he didn't want to run over anybody. So he's fairly mild-mannered if you give him a chance. It's okay, buddy. It's okay, buddy. Shh, 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 shh. Oh, he's just got a little bit of hair loss on his front legs. Other than that, he looks pretty...
Dr. Schumann eventually admits defeat. The donkey isn't cooperating, so the tests will have to wait.
It seems like a lot of the times that we get, a herd of horses and a couple of donkeys, the donkeys usually are in decent body condition. I'm not sure if it's just creativity and getting to food or, but no, he's in pretty good condition. So, hopefully when the court decision hopefully goes our way, we'll be able to get him a new home.
All the horses are underweight, and one is in such bad condition that Dr. Schumann is surprised she's still standing. The team has named her Moon.
She's seen better days. It's, you know, you can see how she's extremely, extremely thin. She has more pronounced sunken in, you know, behind her eyes, right behind these bones here. So that's an indication of also dehydration and emaciation. And then also she has, you know, a couple of these wounds across her back that are producing some discharge, and they are painful, and they need to be flushed out so that they'll heal properly.
Chief Investigator Charles Jansen has seen this before and is concerned that Moon's chances of survival don't look good.
Horses don't get much skinnier than this with them and still remain upright. The horse is definitely critical as far as overall body condition goes. Ultimately, this horse's outlook is going to be very, very grim.
The stench is overwhelming.
Next, the team is called in to see some farm animals living in horrible conditions.
Go. Open that door.
Due to the graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised.
You want to limit the amount of time you're outside in this kind of heat and humidity. The latter part of the morning through the afternoon, the heat indices today, for instance, around 105 with the actual temperature 97.
A heat wave has hit Texas, and as temperatures soar, Houston SPCA Chief Investigator Charles Jansen and his team are heading to a farm in Liberty County. They're taking action after investigator Debbie Michelson found the livestock suffering in some of the most deplorable living conditions she's ever witnessed.
God, can you smell it? We've got several pigs, some sheep and goats, and a calf.
All the animals are underweight, and the pigs are contained in a pen that hasn't been cleaned out in months. The stalls are filled with mud and feces, and in some places, it's more than 2 feet deep.
Woo! The stench is overwhelming.
Michelson was contacted by the Liberty County Sheriff's Office, and they've obtained a seizure warrant.
This is quite pathetic, honestly. Animals should be cared for a lot more than this. You know, they were obviously starving, and it's too hot out here for us, nevertheless, furry animals that can't even breathe out here.
The smell of rotten, putrid fruit mixed with animal feces is just overwhelming. There's a large amount of flies and bugs all flying all over. The water that they have here is standing in black with rotten fruit in it. So the conditions here for these animals is not good at all.
My real issue are the pigs.
Do what? Yeah, the pigs are going to be the one that's going to be an issue. Pigs aren't normally handled a lot. So if you're trying to lead them somewhere, they're trying to go the other direction. They are food motivated right now, but food's not going to get them all the way to the trailer. Do we want to try to do a panel and run them over and move the panel?
Grab them.
I don't know if these pigs have ever been handled, so we're going to try to stay as clean as possible, but I have a good idea that it's not going to work.
The team enters the pen to secure the pigs, but moving in the thick mud is difficult, and the pigs are very slippery. It's nearly impossible to get a grip on them.
Just get here. Get the small one. Bring them this way.
The heat and the mud and everything else, it drains you really quickly.
It takes nearly 15 minutes just to catch the first pig, and the stench in the stall is overwhelming.
Try to stick something in there.
It's not even noon yet, and the temperature is already hit the mid-90s.
They're really strong. We've only caught one, and it's bad already.
Get them one at a time. All right, now go ahead, grab her with these.
Baffle boards are brought in to corral the pigs into the corners of the pen.
You got it?
All right. Hey, hop on over.
He's so slippery, I can't hang on to him. It's so hot.
All right, go. Pigs are very small, but they're very powerful animals, and they're very intelligent animals, so they're learning and they're adapting as we. So every time we miss, every time we try and corral them, the pigs are actually learning, and they're avoiding that spot again to where we constantly have to adapt.
Okay.
All right, still got it. Go.
Go. Open that door. Just pull it up.
Eventually, all but one of the pigs are loaded onto the trailer. And after nearly an hour in the filth and extreme temperatures, the investigators are wiped out.
Rest if you need it, Randy.
Huh?
Rest if you need it.
Feeling exhausted. This is it's one of the tougher things that we've done.
Do you need a break?
A break would be nice.
We knew the worst part of it was going to be the pigs. We're down to one. I think it's the largest pig in there. They're just so slippery, and they're not friendly, and they're heavy. So, one more to go, and I think the rest of them will be fairly easy.
They muster up all their energy for one final capture.
Are you ready?
I'm gonna try.
All right.
Ready?
I don't know
One,
how good I got.
2, 3, go.
Horrible. That was horrible. The heat, the smell, just trying to maneuver in the mud. Picking up your feet in that mud is like picking up an extra 40 pounds.
The pigs are secure, but the team isn't finished yet. There are still sheep, goats, and a young bull calf that need to be transported as well.
Some of us are a little worse for wear, but we'll all recover. Not looking forward to doing one like this again anytime soon.
They proved themselves today.
Yeah, they did.
There'll be a custody hearing in a few days, and the investigators will do everything in their power to make sure these animals never return to this place again.
Let's go. Come on.
Coming up next.
Come on. Want to play? Let's go. Come on.
Samson, the German Shepherd, goes through the Houston SPCA's behavioral evaluation.
When I placed my hand on his muzzle, he froze for a moment.
It's been a month since the Houston SPCA rescued a German Shepherd named Samson.
Hi, Pumpkin.
Dr. Cheryl Hoggard is ready to give him the go-ahead to be placed up for adoption.
He's made a really remarkable recovery. You can see that the hair loss that he had is starting to regrow, and his tail's looking good. He's got a little bit further to go with that, but it's looking really wonderful, and his wound is all healed.
It's important that whoever adopts Samson knows how he reacts in normal day-to-day situations. Animal Services Manager Isaac Rosario wants to evaluate his temperament so the right dog goes to the right home.
Right now, we're about to perform a behavior evaluation, which we do so for some of the animals because we don't have that much history on them. So we want to see, is he social, unsocial? Is he a little shy?
What is his reaction when the environment changes slightly?
How does he react in that manner? Well, the first test we're about to perform is going to be the muzzle test. It's going to see how is he tolerable with hands being placed on his muzzle. These are things that sometimes typically adopters do. What are the results that this animal is going to present when Samson's going to present?
Okay.
There. Okay, that's fine. When I placed my hand on his muzzle, he froze for a moment. He paused on breathing for a second, and then he pulled away. I'm not trying to hold on to the muzzle while he pulls away. That's his reaction saying he's uncomfortable with it. That's fine, that's all I need to do. So next one I'm gonna do is the paw test, which I'm gonna grab one of the paws and repeat the process one more time thereafter. That's fine. Yeah. In this specific case with Samson, when I went to touch his paw the first time, he pulled away. The second time, he vocalized a little bit, saying that he's very uncomfortable with that. He wanted me to stop. So I stopped on that part. Okay. Okay, so what we're about to perform is also what they call a tag test. I'm pretty much, it's gonna look like me playing with him, running back and forth, zigzagging. What I'm trying to see is that when we're moving, a transition is gonna occur where I'm actually gonna turn back rapidly and try to run the other way. And the same process make contact with his rear, which is kind of an unguarded area. So this is a vulnerable area for some animals. You want to play? Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Hey. A lot of this exercise is actually done to see if, like, when children are playing with a dog in the yard and so on, what is the reaction? Does it get surprised where he would mouth, where he would snap, or just continue on playing around? Pew! Come on, yeah. Okay, we stop. Everything he's doing so far is just telling me, if he's uncomfortable, that he's telling me I'm uncomfortable. So for the most part, even though he may not be as socialized, he's definitely telling me a lot of stuff that he does and does not like.
After passing his behavioral test, Isaac can tell that Samson will make a great pet for pretty much anyone.
So with everything we established, we learned that, you know what, Samson is a great dog. He needs a little, little love, a little bit of time so that whoever's adopting him out would, know that he needs a little love. Right now, he's just a little bit shy. So, it just takes baby steps. We just want to make sure that he's going to a nice forever home where he get the love and attention that he deserves.
One little bite.
When investigator Debbie Michelson responded to a call concerning some emaciated horses, she was shocked by how hungry they were.
I don't think I've ever had a horse grab the edge of my bucket and just, literally try to pull my bucket out of my hand.
When the owners failed to get them treated by a vet, the team was forced to take drastic action.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way. Okay?
All of the animals were seized, and one mare named Moon was so emaciated, the team didn't think she'd survive.
Ultimately, this horse's outlook was going to be very, very grim.
But 6 weeks later, it's a different story.
Hey, sweetie. My pretty girl.
Moon has made amazing progress, and although she's still underweight, she's getting stronger every day.
Hello. Ready for some TLC?
Rebecca Wacha and Jennifer Richards from the barn team have been caring for Moon since she arrived. They've seen a remarkable turnaround in her condition.
She was probably the worst off of them all. She was in real bad condition. It was quite sad, really, to see her could hardly stand up, and it was just a real sad sight.
Her hip bones, her ribs, her spine, everything was sticking out severely. Over a little bit of time, she's gained some weight. We still need to put on a substantial amount of weight, so you can't see her hip bones or anything like that. But as far as everything else comes out with the nutrition and everything else that she's getting, we're seeing a lot more personality instead of her just, standing in a corner.
Once Moon is fully recovered, she'll be placed up for adoption. In the meantime, Rebecca and Jennifer will give her all the care and attention she needs.
She seems to be enjoying it. Her coat looks a lot better already from that grooming, and she seems a lot happier. She seems more content than what she was when she first came here. So I'm excited to see what the future holds. I think that she's going to find a great home.
"15 miles away in South Houston, Samson, the German Shepherd who was injured and chained under a trailer, has already found a new home. He's been adopted by Paul Gonzalez and his family after they saw him at the Houston SPCA shelter.
We weren't even there looking for a dog, we were there looking for a cat. But we saw him there in the cage, and my wife, she's been wanting me to get a German Shepherd, so Samson happened to be sitting there looking at us and crying our name out. So ended up coming home with a dog and a cat. Yeah, he's a real gentle dog. I love him. He's just wonderful.
Samson's injuries have completely healed, and he now has a happy future ahead of him. Next.
The state is ready to proceed, and we would call investigator Michelson as our first witness.
The Houston SPCA seeks justice for the animals who were neglected and cruelly confined by their owners.
Is it the allegation of the SPCA that these animals were cruelly treated?
Yes.
At the Liberty County Courthouse, investigator Debbie Michelson is preparing to act as a witness in the livestock seizure case. Representing the state is County Attorney Wesley Hinch.
The state is ready to proceed, and we would call investigator Michelson as our first witness.
You do solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God.
I do.
The owners are also in court. They don't speak English, so a translator has been called in. They want their animals back and are hoping the judge will rule in their favor.
With regard to the cruel confinement, do you have an opinion as to what made this confinement inappropriate?
The conditions were very unclean, unkept, rotten food all over the place. The smell from the place was just horrible. The sludge that was in the pig pen was completely all over 2 pens, and it was just very, we had to walk in it, and it was just very hard to even move in it.
So is it the allegation of the SPCA that these animals were cruelly treated?
Yes.
Come forward, please, sir.
Dr. Frank Schumann provides medical testimony to support Michelson's evidence from the scene.
Every single animal was underweight. We do a body condition score of 1 to 9, with 9 being obese, 5 being optimal, and 1 being extremely emaciated. And all animals fell into the 2 to 3 out of 9 category.
Do you have an opinion based on what you've seen and what you observed related to these animals as to whether they were being treated humanely?
Looking at the pictures and looking at these animals, no, I believe they were lacking in proper treatment.
The evidence against the owners is overwhelming, and they decline the judge's invitation to question the witnesses.
The law says that if you're going to detain an animal, if you're going to put it in a pen and keep it from being able to forage out in the wild and find fresh water and find good food, then you got to feed and water it, and you got to have good food and water there. You can't just throw straw down, and you can't leave dirty water there. I don't believe you ought to torture animals, and you shouldn't mistreat them. And I believe that we are within the law to seize these animals. The court has the right to do that, to award them to the SPCA, and I don't think there's any evidence to merit returning these animals to her possession.
The judge's decision is quick and decisive.
Okay, at this time, we'd like to award those animals to the SPCA with cost of $62.60 that the defendant is responsible for, because that's the damages that was done that they took care of to house them. And there will be a judgment against her in that amount.
It's a great result. Not only have all the animals been awarded to the Houston SPCA, but their owners will now have to pay for the costs of their care.
I don't believe that anybody ought to be able to neglect or cruelly treat animals. They shouldn't be abused. We don't want their animals. But at the same time, they can't continue to possess their animals if they were warned time after time after time and they never attended to the problem. And unfortunately, they got an education today.
This case showed that we were able to prove that these animals suffered a long time without the basic needs being provided to them, and that the judge saw that this was an issue and that it was cruelly treated. I think the future for these animals is going to be great. I'm sure that all of these are going to get good homes.
The bull calf rescued from the Liberty County farm has made a full recovery. The Houston SPCA needed to find someone to care for him for the rest of his life. And they didn't have to look very far. Investigator Randy Farmer has a piece of property with plenty of pasture, and his young daughter Shelby loves animals.
Come on, cowboy. Come on. All right, here he comes.
Randy's named the calf Cowboy, and little Shelby is learning how to care for the new arrival.
Stay away from his head. Cowboy was actually an animal that was adopted from the Houston SPCA. We actually share a pretty fond memory the day we actually impounded him. And he was in a small pen, and it was just full of mud. That's all he was in. So He's in a 10 times better situation than he ever was before. He's filling out really good, and he's growing pretty rapidly. My daughter, she's 3.5 years old, and I want her to grow up the same way I grew up. I was around cattle early on. I kind of wanted her to live up to her last name, since our last name is Farmer. I want her to experience the farm life. So it's a really good experience for her, and the majority of the people that she even goes to school with don't get to experience something like this.
You're so silly.
I take my job, what I do, very, very seriously, and it's a great gratification to see the animals in a different environment altogether, and to know that they're not ever going to be in a situation that they ever were before. He's just part of our animal family. He got dirty feet.